G'day and welcome to Let's Try Last Word by 12 Tiles. So this is a JRPG game that was part of the Humble Game Making Bundle back in 2015, and I figured I would give it a shot, especially since yesterday we played Kind Words, and this has word in the title, so that's in fact the full line of thinking here. So let's see how we do. It's meant to have a unique battle system, fight with the subtle nuances of conversation, engaging storytelling, key topic system, vocal sound effects, bow ties, all the fun stuff. Excuse me, gentlemen, this is the estate of Professor Chet Chatters, is it not? Indeed, we've just arrived as well. The servant should be back soon, milady. He'll see to letting you in. Don't wait up for us. I didn't expect to see this already. See what? This chit-chat, war of the words. You know, what those two fellows are engaging in right now. After you. I insist. All I see is a bit of discourse. Wordplay is common enough at social gatherings. If not entirely expected. Yes, but have you never met Judge Boasting and Mr. McCall? I'm familiar with them, but we've never been formally introduced. Why? And they've continuously attempted to get the last word on each other. It's a pain to listen to. It's as if whoever speaks last gets a big prize or some such thing. That's exactly the point, young sir. Try not to play ignorant. This is a rather large estate. Only the best for Professor Chatters. Care to come inside? What are the other two? If we wait for them, we'll be out here all evening, freezing our smiles off. Come along. He shut the door on us, and after inviting us in, can you believe the nerve? Oddly enough, I can. Hopefully, the exceptional Professor Chatters will have a bit more manners. You've never met with him either? Can't say I have. Well, I couldn't refuse his invitation. This should be a fairly high-profile gathering, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be a great boost for my position in the Masinbo Corporation. It's due time we entertained our host, Mr. McCall. After you. I'm very graceful of you, Mr. Boasting, but I insist you lead the way. Oh, I couldn't possibly, Mr. McCall. Mr. Boasting, you simply must allow me the pleasure of letting you go first. Of course. Of course. See what I mean? You are a bit ignorant, aren't you? I'm Witty Gorship. A real pleasure to meet you. I'm Seymour Seymour of Seymour House. A pleasure. What do you say we get inside before it gets much darker? That would be good. I would like to be able to play the game. And it has been 3 minutes. Hospitality, or he who scoffs, scoffs last? Something like that. So this is the summer house, the estate of Professor Chatters. Of course, why state the obvious? Should it be obvious? I've never stepped foot in here before. Good point, you certainly haven't. I don't let just anyone onto the property. You're a bit judgmental for a servant. Possibly, Professor Chatters has strict guidelines for who can and cannot attend his little get-togethers. There are multitudes of dowdy figures vying to tumble through that front door. Sometimes his guests have class, other times I must bite my tongue. Like now, for example. You're not doing a very good job of it, mate. I don't suppose you've worked here long with an attitude like that? I'm a professional, Mr. Seymour. I've been here quite some time, and I never forget a frumpy face. I'll be sure to add you both to my mental catalogue of regular attendees. The others are up this way. Follow me. Are you ready? I suppose. This isn't exactly my forte. No? You don't mingle often? My mother handled most of these engagements. Key topics to unlock. Okay. Great. She was the head of Seymour House. I was a bit sheltered myself. Maybe you'll pick up on some of her skills? I can only hope. But maybe a glass of wine first? Okay. Finally, we actually get to, like, do something other than scroll through text. There's the save point, so we can save. I guess we'll do that, because I certainly don't want to have to sit through 4 minutes of dialogue again. And now, of course, you immediately take control from us. Tonight promises to be interesting. Quite a few new faces. Myself included. Most certainly, you especially. And it's bothersome I come to these parties for some real conversation. Discussions, arguments, gossip. Honestly, Miss... Gossip. Witty gossip. I know who you are. I'm being condescending. But as I was saying, Miss Gossip, was it? I don't think you have what it takes to hold your own here. You're serious? I am. Do you disagree? I most certainly do. Excellent. So now, move the conversation forward to get the last word. Aha. Higher levels have greater starting advantage. Witty is 11 levels lower. Okay, so let's do descriptive labels, right? So disruptive is power, submissive is tact, aggressive is movement. And we can select any of these. So let's start with submissive. Disruptive is the only one we can do. Right. Right. I see. I see. Game power, movement. Okay. So this is not very good. This is all right. Let's try subtle. Okay. And then we straight away lose. Yeah. The last word. She gets it in. Well, it seems I've left you speechless. Be a good girl and bring me a glass of that 20-year blanc. It's just delicious. Come now, show some class. Don't leave a thirsty woman awaiting her evening nip. So right, you've got a combat system which is abstracted as an argument. But, I mean, it's a combat system. Class is that there's no obnoxious. Nice. Simply divine. As you're no doubt aware, there's a great power in the ability to get the last word in conversation. In that brief moment of speechlessness, you were susceptible to my persuasions. It's a positively overwhelming feeling, darling. It certainly is. You don't sound enthusiastic enough, and it bores me to no end. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to strike up a conversation elsewhere. Okay, find the lock key to progress the story. Lock icon to progress the story. Cool. What an odd design. Part copper, part rubber. Ah, okay, that's pretty cool that you kind of unlock topics. Crackle of a warm fire soothes me. And then this. This is a knuckle statue. It's a stone mouth that says Seymour House at the bottom. There's nothing but flavor text here. A lot of these books are historical, follow the House of Gossip. I don't see what I could gain from reading such blather. And primarily military history. Okay, cool. So yes, there's a reason to explore. That's good. And yeah. I'm a little surprised seeing you talk with Mrs. Prattle like that. You mean just now? What of it? It's just, I don't know. It's like watching a fight. I didn't expect you to take part in it. That's kind of the idea though, buddy. We've just met, Seymour. I don't know why you're already making expectations. You're right. I guess I'm still a little bit flustered. Like I said before, my mother usually handled these affairs. Looks like I have a lot to learn. Well, let's teach the basics. Common discourse can be summed by saying that whomever gets the last word wins. To move the conversation forward in the direction you like, you need to be carefully juggle 3 types of phrases. Will be simple. Let's start with a disruptive phrase. Right. So, because we're at equal levels here. So we can try a subtle disruptive phrase, and that pushes it forward too. The disruptive phrase garnered a small amount of power in the conversation. Ah, so you then use power to use bigger phrases or other things. To really affect a discourse, we need tact. Now that we have some power, select a submissive phrase. But first, we give the opposition their turn. Right. Submissive. And so this costs power, but gains us tact. So, right. The submissive phrase reduced power, but it gained tact. Tact is needed to be aggressive without losing face. We'll go ahead and say an aggressive phrase and watch the conversation truly start to move. So you're kind of cycling through. Alright, so he drank. Ah? Right, paid attention and tipping point. Swap to player, nothing. So Master Seymour gets... That doesn't tell... Paid attention enhances tipping point. It gets XP faster and new skills can be learned through observation. Cool. So here we can now use that to boost things really significantly in our favor. The more pegs shown over composure, the more the conversation moves forward when using aggressive phrases. Composure is important. If someone has damaged composers, they become more susceptible to aggressive phrases. To be more clear, aggressive phrases move the conversation further. Yeah, okay. So you damage composure by using a stronger tone. Once the speaker chooses a phrase, they also commit to a tone. The tone is shown in the shape below the person who used it. Balance phrases based on resources, immediate effects on the conversation, and tones to get the advantage. More information can be read at the save point. Okay, so disruptive, we want to get more of these. I'm going to go with an avert, and I guess I want a square. Oh, right. Ah, gotcha. So he's gaining tact through an item. Submissive. Ah, there's our things as well. So I can gain a bunch of tact by doing this. Let's just do this one. Okay, so you're currently on circle, which means I ideally want to be on square with whatever argument I make. So disruptive, square, let's do that one. And that pushes him up there. So we want to do the star, which is not that one. So, oh right. Ah, yes, okay. And so each different stance, shall we say, does the other thing. And he's getting ticked off. And so here, ideally we want to use square, but we don't have enough tact to use square. So if we go to submissive and use square here to gain more tact, we also will continue to make him angry and damage his composure. And then we should be able to use diamond one here, and we can see that immediately makes us win. All of these make us win because he's real ticked off. And we get in the last word. And yep, we gain an XP, we gain 2 XP, we level up. Okay, so that's an interesting combat system. Feel smarter? I suppose so. Just try to remember the phrase civilitas civilitum. St. Lauden's motto? I never learned Latin. It's not Latin, that's complete gibberish to the finest degree, but everything has meaning. It works as a reminder that in the civilized world, it isn't what you say that matters, but how you say it. Civilitas civilitum. Our nation hasn't stood us wrong yet. I'll try to keep that in mind. Perhaps I'll start picking up on some of the finer points as I go along. And so I told the young lady she could have my hat only if she put it down the revolver. A brilliant tale, Mr. Boasting. I'm sure that the impoverished child you saved will never forget your deeds. Oh ho, he'd better not! Servant, when are we going to meet the Professor? At breakneck speed, I assure you. Professor Chatters needs to finish setting up the equipment before the grand display. Okay. Alright, and let's say you tell us what this new device of his is, eh? I've been sworn to secrecy, as I'm sure you'd expect, Judge Boasting, but your charm is noted. I encourage you all to mingle while we wait. The wine is out and corked. Enjoy. Oh, it looks like we must wait a little longer, Mr. McCall. It seems to be that way, Mr. Boasting. Care to grab a drink? I'd love to, Mr. McCall. After you. This is a small party. I expected more varied crowd, didn't you? I guess I never thought about it, but maybe more people will arrive. The night's young. Okay, select a key topic and gossip with guests. Level up the topic or learn new ones. Ah! Okay. I see. So let's try newest invention, but also let's quickly save, because that's kind of what I feel like doing. Done. 3% complete. Let's see. Let's mingle with guests in the bathroom. Not appropriate? Okay, fine. What about let's wander through here. Can we go in there? No. Okay. Gossip. I'm just as oblivious about this new experiment as you are. The professor has been known for his odd contraptions, but rarely does he hold a show. However, I expected his house to have a lot more sciencey things sciencing about. This is all beyond me. You say my house? I'm all too familiar. It's a rather lesser house. Oh, that old man with the glasses is the youngest member, if I'm not horribly mistaken. But I'd rather not talk about that lineage tonight. Ah! You can't hold it down.
No.
This is the first time I've been to see the professor, and in fact I'm not sure if anyone here has met him in person. All I really know about him is a wildly inventive inventor. Luckily for us, his crazy devices aren't cluttering this fine lounge area. Okay. I know very little about Chet Chatters himself. Well, I do know is that he's, well, I'll be more willing to talk about this after I've had a few drinks, I think. Sorry. What about you? The professor has some rich, fine history of gentlemanry. At least so I hear. He is rather reclusive, but he's quite brilliant. They say his inventions have been used in the front lines of this blasted war. The professor's invention is as much a mystery to me as it is to you. However, Mr. Boasting here claims the device is without doubt a military device. So I could in theory discuss with him. You look smashing this evening. Any chance I could take up some of your time? What's your opinion on professional boxing? This sounds like a weighted conversation. Excuse me if I'm cautious. It's an expertise of mine, certainly, although a new viewpoint is always welcomed. Then if you must know, I think very little of it. You jest! St. Loudon was founded on the principles of diplomacy, strength in words, not arms. That's a modern fallacy compared to the origins of humanity, or even Europe as a whole. We fought and struggled long before words even existed. Boxing is an homage to our heritage. It harkens back to our origins, pitting one being against the other in close quarters. So much time and effort is placed into destroying another person, not just the body, but pride and reputation. And you think that because of the activity is physical, it's somehow less than, say, a highly regarded debate at a university? Primal brutality can hardly compare to the philosophical discussion. Allow me to assert the opposite. And now, we fight! And we start off at a slight disadvantage. So we are going to start by being... so let's see, we observe him, we check. He is gaining tact and boyish charm. Boyish charm enhances elegant smirk. so he gets more tact, especially when landing on the center peg. Okay.
Yo.
That's not what I wanted to do. This... I'm just gonna do this to gain power. Okay, so he is currently on circle. Circle means we want to use star, and this also gains us a bunch of tact. That's that smirk at play. Okay, he is currently on that, so if we do this, we should move things a fair amount and hopefully irritate him. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we want to use something that is square based. Like this one. Also moves just slightly. But I think we really want to push him up and then hit him. Okay, this circle is what we want against that, and that also moves us and it frustrates him. Okay, so we want circle here. I want to use up some power and use circle. No, I guess we'll use circle here, gain just a little bit and move towards the center peg. Okay, yep, he gained a bunch of tact. Oh wow, right, yes. So now, disruptive, we want square. Submissive though, this would let us get some tact to be aggressive in the next one. And he is real ticked off right now. Okay, so now if I'm aggressive, and I can use circle on him. Wow, that's a huge amount to push him. Beyond return. Okay. So I think here I'm just gonna do this to gain a little bit of tact. And that should let me really boost things in the next one. Ah. No, because we are also angry, right? So if I can get circle, yeah, that doesn't quite get us all the way. Oh well, I think it's still worth it. So we're both very angry. I really want to get more of this. Oof, I really need to move it. Need to move the needle, but I can't do that right now. Can I do any? I think I might lose here. Okay. Aggressive. So my problem here is that I just can't actually move it enough. Alright? Because 2 hits here is not enough time. Right, yeah. So, I mean, if I do the same thing here with aggressive, I can move it that far, but that is not all the way. But then I can do it again next turn. So the key thing is I don't see how you calm down. Alright, I mean I can keep pushing him. But then I don't have enough tact to do anything here. Right, and he just, yeah. So, disruptive. I think I'm gonna try and get a whole bunch of power, so I can then try to convert a whole bunch of power into tact. Because right now he's just building up all of his reserves, right? So then I want to turn... Let's see, let's say we turn 30 into 40. We currently have 70 tact. Yeah, so turn 30 into 40. 70 is an awkward number. We do 2 of these. Ah. And then we probably lose at this point. Yeah, no. That was already a problem. So we get XP, and that lets us nearly level. Usually this is where I gloat, but I find it tells my chance for a proper date. Could I convince you into letting me show you around the McCall estate sometime? I'll consider it. Hold. Okay. Interesting. So we can go talk to you. Check lock topic. We need to get that to level 3. Okay. Wait, actually, let's talk to him. Please wait. Seems rude, blah blah blah. Okay, right. Never mind. Ah. So now I need to talk to, say, you. Gossip. Made inventions in the military, you say. Chatter? Okay. Uh-huh. Ah. Judge. Okay, let's see what he's got in store for us. Could it be another prototype for the war? His previous invention was purchased by the military almost immediately, and the new... Okay, interesting. Military devices. Now I think on it, I remember my mother saying Professor Chatters used to be a linguist for the military. Okay. I guess we do that, and then we chat with you about it. Stop moving! Okay, as well... Alright, nope. You... He was a linguist? What a marvel, my husband is a linguist too. I wonder if it's possible that the professor's newest invention has to do with linguistics. Oh dear, my wrists are sweating at the thought. I'm really bad at keeping a consistent voice with these people. Actually, I think I may have heard about such a project in the news. Was it Professor Chatters who was working on communication technology? Okay. Can you imagine how the war would turn out in our favor if our dear linguists had better gear? This has gone from drab to exciting. Okay, cool. Now we can move on. And hopefully that will give us something we can do, because we're going to be done. Okay, yep. I never eat my words. From what I've gathered, Professor Chatters was in the military. He specialized in linguistics. Furthermore, his inventions have been useful to the armed forces for some time. If I'm not mistaken, it seemed that the professors brought us here to showcase another such device, a creation using the powers of speech. I'm sure you feel quite brilliant, but any clod with a misshapen cranium could have discovered as much simply by reading public journals. Your lack of tact is striking. Quite so, but words are often striking, are they not? It's how we gather power among our peers. I demand you allow me to see the professor. No. You're a servant. You must allow me to converse with the host. It's your duty. Is that so? You still hold that servants are unable to hold discourse? That they must remain powerless? Certainly, it's the way it is. Allow me to disagree. Ah, and he is level 5. Okay. So, I think we start with an overt display of gathering power. Okay, great. Now, that means I want to do a common display of gathering power. And that means I want to do a subtle display of gathering power. And that means I want to do a overt display of gathering power. And then I want to start also gathering tact. So tact I can gather. You are currently on that, which means I do a subtle gathering of tact. Okay, fine, I guess. Jeez. We earned 1 bow. What does that do? And that, Miss Gossip, is how you get the last word in the conversation. Now, if you'll be so kind, go back to the party and enjoy yourself. Maybe go by wait by the table until the professor is ready. Well, I guess we done here. We done? Yep. Alright, I'm gonna save. It's an interesting system. I just currently have difficulty working out what subtleties there are to the combat, right? It seems like, I mean, obviously I'm not making a very good show of it, but it seems to me like I don't have a lot of tactical options because it's the same set of things. It's just that I guess there I needed to be more aggressive. But on the other hand, he wasn't more aggressive. He just had a better cycle. So, I don't know. I'm sure there's stuff that I'm missing here. It's an interesting RPG. Not sure how keen I will be to get back to it. It hasn't really hooked me. But yeah, I'm glad I played it. And I'm glad I, finally got a chance to look around at it. One thing I should note that is slightly annoying to me, there's no full screen option. This is a very low res game, so it is currently a tiny window in the center of a rather large screen because you can't full screen it. So that in itself is one of the things. Your video of this makes it look a lot bigger than it is, and that's kind of silly. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I will play more of it, and certainly I won't play more of it on Let's Try. Tomorrow, we're going to try a different game. I guess we'll see what it is then. Bye.